On.
There we go. So we start now?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, good morning, magical ones. My name is Trish,
And I'm Susie.
and today we are going to talk about Imbolc and the full moon in Leo at the same time. It's February 1st, and they both fall on the same day, which is actually really a powerful moment, I think, anyway. Um, So this is my cat. We call him Handsome. So he might be in the shot here, but oh, there he goes. So I've I really love Imbolc. Do you what do you feel about Imbolc? Is it something that you really pay attention to, or
It's funny because I think I've always just been in love with the thought that spring is getting closer. So, we grew up with Groundhog Day, of course, like everyone's familiar with that. So then when I learned about Imbolc and the goddess Brigid and all that, then I got more interested in that aspect of it. But it's just exciting thinking, spring might be around the corner. Ah.
yeah, yeah. I always find Imbolc to be I don't know, because you see, posts everywhere, especially where it originated from, like Ireland, Scotland, like the Celtic countries, regions. Um, for them, it is sort of a harbinger of spring because they start seeing flowers popping up, and but here we're still under like 2 feet of snow, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel at on Immo because we're still in the depth of winter. So I'm always sort of torn about that. But just over the years, like I've just learned to love it for a different reason. Like um just that whole in the oh,
I saw that. I saw something fall.
I think it was a bird.
Oh, hit the window?
Oh, I
Oh,
think it hit the
no.
window. Anyway, so yeah, so it's just being in the depth of winter, but like I love it so much, but I also don't really do any ceremonies or anything. Yeah, I had great intentions this year to make a Bridget doll, and I always have these intentions, but I don't I don't do it a lot of times. What about you? Do you do anything?
Well, I do like to put my cloth out. So this year I couldn't decide what to put out, so I put out three. I'm just greedy like that. So I put out a white cloth because that's traditional. I also put out a red. These are scarves I actually put out this year. Put out a red scarf because I wanted to get some energy, and then I put out my Kyliak scarf. So this is one that we wove in a class at the Violet Unicorn, which you can be impressed, but it's all because Leo, who is the owner of the shop, helps you along. I know.
Yeah,
So I
really
I could
pretty.
take some credit for this, but this is what we wove in the colors of the Kyliak, and it means a lot to us, my girlfriends and I that did it. And it collected a burr while it was outside, so I'm leaving that burr in because I thought that's kind of cool. It's just a tiny little burr. Now I can't find it, but anyway, so the point of leaving your scarves or your cloth outside is that as Bridget passes on the night of Imbolc on January 31st, her mantle touches your cloth and you get some of her spirit. I just found the burr because my finger hit it. And so then it's imbued with healing power. So if you have a cold or a sore throat, then you wear the cloth, or if you have a headache, you can wrap it around your head, and it's supposed to then help you with your ailments. So I thought that was you know, a nice thing to do, an easy thing to do. I did also light a white candle. Oh, and while I was outside, because the full moon was just so beautiful. It's been so bright, and it
Hmm.
just had this beautiful golden color. And so I stood outside. It was beautiful out, and just did, a little prayer and an invocation, just, for healing and protection and stuff. So that felt, I really felt that energy, like looking at that moon, like I really felt it. And it was a very, I found it was a nice light energy to counteract, the heaviness of, well, the world in general right now, but, just the heaviness of winter. And don't you find, Trish, like the sun this time of year can just be so bright
Yeah,
when we do see it? So,
yeah, yeah. Um, I plan. I know it's traditionally January 31st to do the claw thing, and I don't know why last night I just didn't think about it. Um, but I think I'm going to put it out tonight anyway,
hmm.
because I still feel like the whole Imbolc energy and the energy of Bridget is there for a long time. And I
Oh,
think,
absolutely.
sometimes we get so hung up on having to do it, having to do things right at the time that, everybody says you should do it. And
Mhm.
and it's I think it has to do with the season of it, not necessarily the day of it, all the time. So
Hmm.
anyway, so I think I'm okay with doing it tonight because I do want to do that too. And
Hmm.
the other tradition is to put out sweaters and stuff too for
Oh.
her. And what I find really cool about that is there's a like a Nordic tradition of taking all your wool items and putting them outside on top of the snow, and then taking snow and burying all your woolen items. And that's how they wash their wool sweaters, their mittens, that kind of thing,
Oh.
because it the cold um, kills any bacteria that might live in your wool. So I
Oh.
thought I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to put my all my sort of my woolen things outside, and I have a lot of them. Um, and yeah, so they'll get cleansed and they'll get blessed with Bridget's energy. Um, so yeah, I think that's what I'll do tonight. And I'm also going to put out some moon water because the like Brit Imbolc is a fire festival, right? It's the
Mhm.
um Bridget is the goddess of fire, a goddess of water, goddess of birth, and and the Leo is a sun sign. Like it just feels very fiery to me
Mhm.
and warm. And I mean, it's freezing out here. I so I'm really trying to embrace that fire energy of
Mhm.
right now. I really feel that too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. I feel like I got a blessing yesterday. You might have seen it on my Facebook. So
Right.
back in the summer, I it was really super hot. You remember in the summertime, it was like gross. And I had a ring on, and my hands were getting swollen, and so I was really uncomfortable. And I had parked my car, I was going into a restaurant to meet a friend, and I took my ring off and I put it in the cup holder in my car. And I always lock my car, but I had forgotten. And I went in the restaurant, I came out, and I noticed my ring was not in the cup holder. I don't know if I noticed it right away or I noticed it later. I can't remember. I just remember being really upset because it was a ring, not that it was valuable, but it was one my mom had given me. And
Mhm.
so I was very sentimental about it. I was super upset and never really got over it. Anyway, yesterday I gave my sister a drive, and when she was in the back seat, and when she reached into the little crevice where the handle thing is, she goes, "Oh, she says, there's a ring in here." So my ring. Now you can say, well, they must have found it when they detailed my car, because I think last time I talked about my car accident, and my
Yeah.
car, I just got my car back from being fixed and detailed. So they must have found it and just put it in there and probably forgot to tell me about it or whatever. Doesn't matter to me. The
Yeah.
fact is that this ring appeared on January 31st,
Hmm.
and it really felt very special to me.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That,
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is definitely from the spirit world to me. That's from your mom. That's from Bridget.
Yes.
Absolutely. I totally believe that.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I did definitely say thank you. But it's funny because um my mom had left a ring to my sister Karen, the one that found my ring. When we were cleaning out the house, we couldn't find it. And we had just about given up, and Karen was pretty upset. And she just happened to, something just made her glance at the doors of the cupboard, and my mom had put the ring on the door pull.
Oh
So
yeah.
the ring was sitting like in the door pull.
Oh really?
And Karen was so happy, and she's like, "Thanks, mom." Like, we feel like that, right? We feel
Yeah.
like we've been guided to things. So it made it even more special that Karen found the
That's
ring that mom gave me in my
yeah.
car.
They're kind of they're kind of similar, like shape where she put the rings, right? Like you said, it's
Yes. Handle. Yeah.
kind of
Door handle.
handle, like
Yeah.
a kind of a cup. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
mentioning that. Yeah, that
That,
is.
wow, that's really cool. That's a
Oh,
really
thank
cool
you.
story. I yeah, I'm not really one for um like worshiping goddesses and
Me
deity and
too.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I will say Bridget does hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I find I don't I don't know why exactly, because a lot of the things that she's like the goddess of is not something that I'm totally drawn to, like like poetry and midwifery. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the forge and that kind of stuff is,
Mm.
I just, it's not something I like. Those aspects of her is not something that I'm drawn to, but I'm very drawn to her for some reason. But I think it's a lot of it is because what I love her lore of being a Celtic goddess, and how she transitioned into a Catholic saint, and she just feels like, to me, she feels like a symbol of two spiritual beliefs
Mm.
that can actually meld together and be something positive and good. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm.
And so I think I really love that about her story is how that happened. And I know there's other saints that used to be gods or goddesses, but uh, in particular, I'm really drawn to her and her fire sort of energy too, right? But
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And of course, I have Irish ancestry too, so that helps me. But I also kind of, she reminds me somewhat of Mother Mary as well. So I kind of, because we both have a reverence for Mother Mary. So I just kind of like those mother-like figures, I guess, from,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So tonight I'll do those things. I'll
Mm.
get my moon water because I feel like it's going to be a good moon water. Um, I've been using my moon water, if I haven't been using it for other reasons. I've been using it to feed this plant here.
Oh, okay.
And the first time I used the moon water, it just went absolutely nuts. So it was like, man, there is some good magic in there. So
Mm.
anyway,
Love that.
but I have my white candles lit up for Imbolc, and that's probably all I'll do, like
So with the moon water, are you going to use the snow water or what kind of water do you use?
I haven't decided yet. I might even do two different ones. I don't know. I might just use, I mean, my water comes from a well, so I always feel like
Oh,
it's sacred anyway.
yes, absolutely.
So yeah. So I'll probably, I don't know, part of me wants to use snow water because it's a snow moon too.
Yes, yeah.
So so I may have two. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I know that you'll do whatever you're called to do at the
Yeah.
moment, so I don't worry about that. And I 100% agree that you do it when you feel you don't have to go by, everyone says it has to be done this. As soon as someone says it has to be done this way, my
Yeah.
little Taurus in me goes, "Really?" I mean, tradition is tradition, and there's some things,
Yeah.
that are sacred, and then some things you can work a little bit more with. So I'm okay
Yeah.
that way. Yeah. So the snow moon, as you said, the full moon is in Leo. So I just wanted to mention about what that means. So of course, Leo is our fire sign, and it's a sign that's those the romantic people and the creative people and they're courageous people and they have a way of expressing themselves. So I really like to lean into that Leo energy when I can because I have a sometimes a hard time expressing myself, but this full moon is that time to be honest about how you feel about things. So I no longer need that. I'm going to bring in more of this. So grab onto that courageous way of speaking and just know that you know what, you can say what you want.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to be namby-pamby about it. That's how I grew up. You had to be really careful with your words and don't ruffle feathers and things like that. And now that I'm a crone and the more comfortable I become in my own skin, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't put up with things like that anymore. But yet I'm still myself. I'm just a born diplomat. So I
Right.
always try but there comes a point sometimes where you just gotta go, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Um I find too like Imbolc, I don't know, just falling on this moon just
Mm,
seems really powerful somehow.
hmm.
But like Imbolc is like that. It is a transition time too,
Hmm.
where the light is growing, but it's also a time we're still in darkness, or we're such it's a liminal space,
Yes.
like there's growth, but we don't necessarily see it. It's underground.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just keep thinking about the tarot readings that I was doing about things that are happening, and so far the readings have been very sort of in your face, right, in that sense, but at the same time, being right now in Imbolc is a time of hope. And I think that's
Yes.
what I really love about Imbolc is like you feel like you're still in darkness, but there's life stirring. There's things stirring. For
Mm,
us, it's still under the snow underground, but
mhm,
the trees are starting to wake up. The sap is starting to move in the trees,
mhm.
and the seeds are just like their DNA is being woken up.
Mm,
Like there's so much life that and hope, that all this one day is going to be good and warm and nourishing and beautiful, and so there's all that. Yet we're not, us here in Nova Scotia, we're not necessarily seeing that just
mm.
yet because it's gray, freezing cold, lots of snow, but
Yeah.
you do see it because you see the days are getting longer,
Yes.
and the birds are getting more vocal as it's coming up
Mm,
on mating season, and so
mm.
you do see some life You just got to look for it. And I
Yes.
think that's what's really important right now because, like you said, because of what's going on, the darkness in the world, we have to look for light. We have to look for Bridget, I think.
Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was going to ask, because I mentioned I felt this full moon and you're feeling it too. I don't always connect with every full moon.
No, yeah,
And I know, some people say, don't forget to put out your crystals to charge under the full moon. I don't do it every full moon. Do you?
no. I actually rarely do it, to be honest.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
It's only when I'm like looking at my crystals and there's a little layer of dust on them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're probably a bit neglected. So
Yeah.
I should clean and put you out for charging, right? Um, yeah, no, it's not something I tend to do. I have become quite um, ritualistic with my moon water, though. Not every
Mm.
full moon, but just, I don't know why. When I took my full moon water and fed this plant that was looking really sad, and then like a week later, I came up and I looked at the plant. I was like, holy shit, this thing just took off, right? And I did water it before, like I always watered it. It just was stagnant. And then
Yeah.
when I put the full moon water in, it just grew like all these new leaves. And so
Wow.
now I'm like, now I'm very diligent about putting full moon water out, and then I'll just like share it amongst the plants if I'm not using it for something else. You know what I mean?
Well, you've inspired me. I'm gonna put out some water too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and yeah. So I think too, what I like about Imbolc is the white candles.
Ah, yeah.
I love. Um, I don't know. White is kind of one of those things that I love to decorate with, and it's a. I know it's not a color; it's a non-color, but it's a color that I feel very calming. It calms me.
Mm.
So when I first saw a lot of pictures of Imbolc and people lighting white candles, and I just felt a calmness come over me, and I think that's part of my love for this season. Um, and in the Catholic tradition, it's white candles as well for Candlemas. So, I mean, they just opted that in, right? They co-opted that. So,
Yes.
sorry. So, but anyway, so I always loved that too in the Catholic Church, like the Candlemas festival.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so a lot of people do a candle magic during Imbolc, and so that sort of segues into one of the things that I've been seeing a lot on. I feel like I'm always the one that brings up the controversies of Instagram on
Well,
these.
you're more on social media than I am. Yeah, so you see more of these things, but I like to hear about them, so tell us about it.
Okay, so I follow this account. I'm not going to mention names because I don't always agree with him, but I follow him because a lot of times I actually, most of the time, I don't agree with him. So I don't know why I follow him. But anyway, but he's got a lot of knowledge. But anyway, so somebody asked about candle magic because, it's that time of year where a lot of people are doing candle magic. Uh, Being a fire festival, candles, so on. And he basically was shitting on it in a in a way that he was basically saying how candle magic is so basic and so Instagram aesthetic, that not real, not he didn't say it, but a lot of people took it this way, that not real witches used candle magic because it's just this new agey thing to do. Um,
Wow.
and I and it just made me mad in a way because and a lot of people commented. I was reading comments, of course, because I was like, "Oh, this is going to be juicy." So, so, so I read the comment. And a lot of people commented that that's not fair. Like if it works for people, and I agree with that. Like, what's
Mm,
wrong with lighting a candle and putting an intention out, or
mm,
engraving an intention on your
mhm.
candle and letting it burn down, or using a candle to burn a piece of paper that has your spell on it. Like I did that.
It's not new agey though. Like sympathetic magic is one of the oldest forms of magic, like cave paintings on walls depicting a successful hunt. Like that's a form of sympathetic magic, and using a candle is a if you carve a figure or an intention into it. Like I don't understand why someone would say that that was new agey and Instagrammable. Everything is Instagrammable, but
Yeah,
it's one of like it is a basic form of magic, but sometimes that's what we're comfortable with. We're not all high magic practitioners.
yeah,
So that sounds a little bit like somebody's full of themselves and saying, kind of looking down on somebody who's just using a basic form of magic. My goodness, like candle magic is so accessible, it's comfortable, and it's powerful. Like what's
yeah,
more powerful than flame?
yeah,
Like that
yeah,
was a gift from the gods, right? When
yeah,
fire was discovered.
yeah. I
I'm
don't,
gonna
I
get
don't,
mad, so I'm gonna settle down.
I don't know. I just was like, what? Why? Why are you saying this stuff? Like to me, it makes no sense. It just made no sense. Not everybody has a wood stove that they can build a big fire or can make a bonfire outside. Like a candle is their way of representing fire and
Yes.
doing spell anyway. So I was just like, but a lot of people agreed with him too, and
Yeah.
I understand what's happening a lot of times on social media is people like say you and me, we get kind of tired of the whole surface aesthetic shit
Mm,
that's out
mm.
there. So I understand in a way where he's coming from. Like it's because I do see a lot of um, younger witches out there doing these um, what are they called? Severing. Uh, it's basically these spells that they do for other people. People pay them to do these spells
Oh,
with candles, and there's a cord that is in between the two candles, and it's meant to sort of sever like a relationship. So somebody pays them to do this spell.
like a cord cutting spell?
Yeah, it's kind of like, but because as the candle burns down, the cord breaks, and it depends on where the cord breaks, who does the severing. Like, because
Oh,
there's two candles,
okay, that's
you know.
interesting.
Yeah, and I thought that's kind of a cool spell, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's so many of them out there, and these candles that they have, like the flames are huge because they have like herbs and oils and
Right.
that kind of thing
Yes.
on the candles.
Yeah.
So I think he was saying a lot of things about this is all just aesthetic with the big flames and um, and a lot of people were commenting, and let alone it's a fire hazard. And it's like, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming everybody's standing around their candles, making sure they don't burn their house down. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not idiots here.
Yeah. Give them some credit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, but I kind of get where he's coming from, but I also disagree. But
Yeah.
why does everything have to be a controversy?
It just seems like some people aren't like that's how they validate themselves. That's how they prove themselves by, tearing something down and saying, my way is the way or, poo-pooing something else. That bothers me. I'm always interested in hearing people's viewpoints on things. That's how I
Yeah,
learn, right?
yeah,
Because I don't know everything that's going on out in the world. Um, but that makes me wonder about being paid to do as long as you're being paid to do the spell for the person that's paying you, but if someone's paying you to do a spell on someone else, do you know what I mean? Like kind of
Yeah.
baneful magic, I guess, that you're I
Well,
don't
if
know.
the, I think a lot of times it's these people are trying to break away from a relationship that the other
Mm,
person won't let them break away from. So,
yeah.
um, yeah,
If I'm paying you to do something for me that's going to benefit me for my highest good, then
yeah.
yeah, no, 100% I agree with that. But yeah, I'm always a little leery about people paying to do magic against somebody's will.
Mhm.
That's kind of not helpful to anyone but their own kind of selfish purposes, I guess. But yeah, definitely if it helps somebody to get out of a toxic relationship, then 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably, don't ask me though. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be comfortable doing that unless I really, yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that? If somebody,
Um, yeah, it depends on the situation.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like if somebody like you've heard of the Etsy witches. Have you heard of the Etsy witches?
No.
Okay. So a, a while back, um, some guy hired Etsy witches to put a curse on Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
And then days later, after they confirmed that they did the curse, days later, he got shot. He was murdered.
wow.
He was murdered.
Yes, he was murdered.
So, um, anyway, so there was this whole debate on was
Wow.
that ethical? Was it not ethical? Um, so I never honestly I go always go back and forth on that because one, the earth is better without him, but
Yeah.
two, I don't I don't agree with murder at the same time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like but I don't, I never know how to reconcile that in my head
Mm,
because part of me is like, the man deserved it. Um, but I also feel like it's too, somebody is going so low, they're to do this, and I don't know. I just don't know if it's a sacrifice. So if somebody came to me and said, "I would like you to put a curse on, you know, Trump or somebody," I personally would not do it for them. But I would
mm,
say to them, if he's impacting your life so negatively that you feel the need to do it, then I back you 100%.
mm-hmm,
You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
But don't ask me to do it because one, I don't think it would be as powerful for me to do
Right.
it
Yeah.
because although he affects everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
not to the point where I feel like my magic to do it would be as powerful as, say, somebody in the US, that was detained by ICE doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I I I I agree with it in some respects, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was a big thing, the whole Etsy witches. So I'll see, people jokingly say, uh, so has anybody contacted the Etsy witches for, whatever?
Wow. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that could be a whole other podcast, I think, around that because yeah, there's doing a service for humankind and then
Yeah.
there's, where do you draw the line between who gets to decide who's, not fit to be on this earthly plane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe that everything, I know this sounds corny, but everything happens for a reason. And, we go through these karmic lessons. And, for whatever reason, the destruction that Trump is causing has to happen. It's part of a cycle. And I know that's hard to hear and it's hard to reconcile. Um, I will put in a plug though for, so I recently got a numerology reading done from my friend Ann Perry, and she's got a book out right now, Soul Signature,
Mhm.
and she talks about karmic lessons and karmic debt in there. So it's interesting, an interesting point of view that she has, that we choose what we're going to go through in this life, and we choose the people we're going to go through with. So, if you've been abused, or the horrible things that happen to you, is you chose that. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's her viewpoint, and a lot of people agree with it. I find that hard to reconcile, as you know from your personal experience. Why would I choose that kind of pain? But anyway, so for whatever reason, things go through their cycle, and I just think Trump's cycle at some point is going to have to end, whether he dies of natural causes or, I don't advocate taking him out. Would I cry if he was? No, I would not cry. Did I cry when Charlie Kirk got assassinated? No. But, I feel for his kids, and I don't know about the
Not his
wife
wife.
though. She seems a little sketchy too, but
Yeah. 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 I, yeah. I know we've talked about the whole karmic thing. I don't know if I don't know if I agree with it, but I, um, I do believe that there is, um, there is a purpose to Trump being here, because I think as bad as it is, it's going to cause a great awakening. You
mm,
know what I mean?
mm,
I personally feel that, and that's kind of what the cards said when I did that
mm,
forecast thing. Without getting into too much detail, there there's a reason why he's there. That it really surfaced a lot of the um, evil that was hiding, and because it was always there,
absolutely.
it was always just lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
So now it's out in the light,
Yeah.
and and people are either choosing to fight it or join it, and I think it's part of a great cleansing, you know. Uh,
Mm, yes.
anyway, yeah, yeah. So that's I guess that was a bit of a tangent, but I feel like it's part of this. It's part of this time because it's like you said, the moon and Leo and communication, and that's what I'm really noticing right now too. That the a lot of people are speaking up and communicating and protesting, and it's people are on fire right now.
Mm,
That energy is so strong right now. And when I did my reading um, for February, that's the sort of energy I was feeling, um, is getting pulled through the reading, like
mm,
this fighting and protesting and the
mm.
cleansing, and I don't know.
No,
So
that lines up with, what astrologers are saying, and what numerology is saying. Uh, it To me, those things all are interconnected. Anyway,
mhm.
if you're interested in, any kind of mysticism, or occultism, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so in it's, I don't mean to plug it, but I just really 100% believe in Anne Perry and numerology. So um, you can follow her on Instagram or uh, Facebook or whatever. But she does, talk about the cycle of the year and what things mean, and it's lining up with what you're saying, and like I said, it lines up with astrologers what they're saying, and it is going to be like a lot of upheaval, but I'm really encouraged by the protests.
Yeah,
And
me.
Bruce Springsteen came out with his song, and there's people that are in high profile that are speaking out. I mean, you can't possibly see what's going on in Minneapolis and not be outraged.
Yeah,
Like, how can you not be outraged by people getting shot for no reason?
yeah,
It's craziness.
yeah.
But it's like you said, it's just part of the awakening, and people need to have these upheavals to have their eyes open, because we're so apathetic.
Hmm.
And hello, World War II, what
I
do you
know.
think happened there? People were
Yeah,
just like, you know
yeah,
I didn't know it was happening, or I was just following orders. It's like, no, that doesn't wash
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. Like that's what I kept saying in the videos. Like don't be afraid. Gather your strength. Don't be afraid, because I personally, under all this, so far, not the best of cards that I've had
Mhm.
to explain. There's this undercurrent of hope, and that's what I feel
Yes.
Imbolc is. Imbolc is a time of hope, like I said
Yes.
before, because it seems like we're in darkness right now. It seems like it's freezing cold. It is, and it is. We are in that state, but there's an undercurrent in the earth, in the air, in the astrological system, with the sun growing and
Yes.
just all that stuff. There's hope, and yeah,
Absolutely. I feel that too, because I always have a hard time in December. So it's like, just seems like blah. And then, once February hits, you're looking more forward. The sun is nice and bright, and it's lasting longer, and it's just, makes you happy. And I think, that's the message that I would like to get out to people is, everything is a cycle, and the wheel keeps turning. So
yeah,
it seems like dark times, but there's hope.
yeah,
And we need the protesters right now. We need those people, and it
yeah,
breaks my heart that people have turned into martyrs for it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I bless them and I thank them, and I
yeah,
also, I thank the strength that I get from the spiritual community.
yeah,
you know I'm sure you can say too, it's gotten us through a lot of things, just knowing that there is something greater than ourselves out there, and
yeah,
we're all connected.
yeah, and yeah, and I think that's really important, to, like I said in the last video, is, this fight is also on the spiritual realm. So if we can do spiritual work to fight this
Hmm.
evil, um, then we should be doing it. I think it's really important um, to do spiritual work for that cause as well, not just for personal
Hmm.
reasons, but for
Hmm.
global reasons.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so on another light, like I yesterday, Katie and I went for a walk because we walk every day now. It
Mm.
takes us an hour to do the block around
Nice.
here, and so we'll go out for a walk every day. And it's been bloody freezing, like
Yes. I
absolutely miserable
know.
last week, right? And but slight positive was like we didn't have to turn on our lights on our vest I just saw my battery light flash there.
Oh
Uh,
no.
We didn't have to turn on our lights on our vest as early on our walk because we could, the light was on, the
Mm.
sun was shining, kind of thing. But yesterday when we went for our walk, I said to Katie, like, it's cold, but you can actually feel the warmth of the sun
Yes.
on our face because
Yeah.
everything else was covered with scarves and hats. But there was just a little patch on my cheek
Oh,
that I could feel the warmth of the sun. So
yeah.
yeah, so that was kind of a nice thing to experience.
Yes.
Yeah,
It did definitely feel nice. Or even sitting in the car, you can still feel, you know, the sun beaming in.
yeah,
And I couldn't wait to get outside. I did a little cleanup outside, Any excuse to be outside is great for me. And I commend you for walking in those frigid temperatures because and at work, the heat went out at work because there was a burst pipe in another unit.
oh
And so I was freezing like all week long at work and then coming home and huddling in front of the wood stove. But I'm so grateful. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's almost like that cold is teaching you to appreciate the warmth.
yes,
And
yeah,
then when the sun is shining like that, it teaches you to appreciate,
yeah,
and when I was outside under the full moon, saying my gratitude and doing the blessings and everything, I really felt it because I don't want to cry. It's December is just horrible for me. And
um,
January wasn't that great, but now I just feel so much better. So I'm glad that you are too. And congratulations for you and Katie on your health journey. That's awesome.
yeah. Thank you. I just took my mic because uh,
You're
it was flashing the
splashing.
battery. So I hope you can still hear me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, we've been working on this since June, pretty much, and like, yeah, Katie's lost a lot of weight, like 45 pounds or something, and
Amazing.
yeah, and and on that note, like I feel I'm doing this for me, my health, and Katie's health, but I'm also doing this for the health of the planet, uh,
Mm.
because I feel like healthy humans help the planet be healthier.
Wow.
And the less I consume, the less impact I have on the earth. Um, I don't. I know it's really small, but when I think about the stuff that I would I would eat, man, we are really going off topic.
No, this is all related, all related.
Okay, when I now, like, Katie and I used food for comfort because we had to go through a very, very hard time for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And my love language is feeding people.
Mm.
And I love to cook for people and bake for people. And I love sitting around and sharing food. It's just something I
Mm.
really, really love doing. So I take great comfort in food, but I took I was such a good eater before Alicia passed away, but I took a lot of comfort in food, overeating, and eating bad foods. And when I think back on it, I don't hate myself for it. It got me through a lot of hard times. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
some people turn to drugs, some people drinking. I turn to
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's not such a bad bad thing. But
Yeah.
I gained weight and I became dependent and addicted to sugar and using food for comfort. But when I think back on the stuff that I ate and how harmful it was to the earth, like, this is a stupid example, but Katie and I would eat ice cream every night after supper, like a
Mm-hmm.
bowl of ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about how ice cream is produced,
Mm,
commercial ice cream is produced, how
hmm
awful it is, how
hmm
awful a lot of our commercially produced food
Yes.
is. But now I think it's like, you know what? A container a week of ice cream is not being bought because I'm not eating that anymore. That's
Mm.
one less than, that's a slightly less impact on cows. And it's, I don't know, I just feel this responsibility to keep doing this, not just for me, but for the planet. And the
Mm.
healthier I am, the stronger I am to stand up to the wrongs of this world.
I love that, Trish. That's amazing. I truly believe that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something silly. I'm just looking at my cat and it's like, is he going to barf on our nice white blanket? Because he's like, but no, he's just licking. He decided to lick his paw. But I was almost about to run towards the cat and move him off the nice white fuzzy blanket. But I think he's good.
And I'm gonna need you to go outside and check to see if there's a bird on the ground.
Oh, well, he would be on the here. Hold on. You can see my butt.
Because they can usually recover if they've just stunned themselves. So if he's not there, then he's probably just flown away.
Yeah,
Oh, what?
he didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
No, he's on our roof. Right here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's I bless his journey. That was the little birdie's, fate. But I'll try not to take it as a sign of anything.
Yeah, that's
I'm not one of those people that takes everything as a sign
mm,
because there's more birds killed by hitting windows than by predators, right? So
yeah.
it
Yeah, that's
it
the number
happens.
one killer of birds is windows.
Yeah.
And because we feed the birds a lot, we tend to get a lot of birds hit our windows, but they usually survive.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, poor
Yeah,
little
he's on this.
baby. Okay. Well, you should have just lied to me, Trish.
I know, but I was like, I can't lie to Susie. I'm sorry.
When there's a critter on the side of the road, I'll say to Jamie, "Oh, that's a silly place for that to take a little nap on the side of the road, isn't it?" Just pretending that that animal's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He's taking a nap.
It
The tits up on my roof.
just shows how comfortable he is. You know, this is a safe place to take a nap.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. On that note, do you think we should wrap up?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go secretly cry now. No, I'm kidding. I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, lots of good discussions there, and then maybe
Yeah.
some things to think about for next time as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, sorry to our listeners that we weren't side by side together. The weather is not supposed to be great today, although it's starting later than and maybe not as bad as originally
Yeah.
forecasted because it's
Yeah.
supposed to veer off. So I probably could have made it, but it's just ever since my accident, I'm just a little more cautious now driving, and maybe that was one of my lessons is not to be so cocky driving in the winter time.
Yeah.
You gotta look for the lessons, right?
Yeah. That's right.
You and I had that discussion. Anyway, yes, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we appreciate all of your comments and appreciate you being with us. And
Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
all right.
Well, happy Imbolc and happy full moon.
Yes, blessings, everybody. Thank you.
Blessings.
Okay.